around the Auburn area, sliding off or very quickly off towards the east. It's actually racing towards the east, and it should be bearing down here on Taylorville here very shortly. So with this being a tornado warning, it's something to take very seriously. You don't want to be lackadaisical about this. When there's a tornado warning issued for your area, the best thing to do is to go to the lowest level of your home. If you have a basement, that's great. If you don't have a basement, they'll just go to the lowest level of your home and go to an interior room. Stay away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible because, again, there could be some flying debris making for a very dangerous situation. So please stay weather savvy, stay weather alert. We have multiple warnings right now. Our tornado warning continues for Christian and Sangamon County until 5:30 this evening, and then we have another warning just to the south of there. These are tornado warnings. And on top of that, too, we've had clusters of severe thunderstorm warnings as well. So it has been one thing after the other, a very, very active, very tumultuous evening. So we'll definitely keep you abreast as to what's happening across the region. Joining me too this hour, we have meteorologist Matt Bednar. Matt, what else do we have?
Yeah, I'm looking at a message that just came through the National Weather Service at the moment, trying to see if this one of the warnings expired or not. Looks like we still have Christian County under that tornado warning. Pretty much all of Christian County, especially Taylorville, Kincaid, Morrisonville. If you're in the path of this storm, please make sure that you're in your most interior room. Put as many walls between you and the outdoors, and stay away from windows. And if you're outside, find a sturdy building to go into and take shelter now. This is an active tornado warning for Christian County moving towards Taylorville, and this has still been an intensifying storm across the region.
Yeah, let's zoom in a little bit closer here. We've got some other communities that are being affected right now. So again, you can see where Pawnee is. You can see Auburn. A lot of the information too kind of being obscured by the fact that we've got a lot of lightning too taking place. But Vernon, Pawnee, very, very intense thunderstorms. That seems to be the core of the most intense weather right now. And again, these thunderstorms are moving very, very quickly off towards the east. So we can't stress it enough. Sometimes you don't get much advanced warning with these thunderstorms, so it's always crucial whenever there's a warning that's issued for your area that you really act on it quickly and make sure that you take shelter to protect you and your family, because again, we are looking at some really intense weather here. We're going to be putting a tracker on these thunderstorms, again, not too far from Auburn, moving off to the east at speeds around 45 to 50 miles per hour. So on this projected course, some of the other communities that will likely be affected, Pawnee, as we were mentioning, around 503. So just right now, you're going to be bearing down on you. It's in your backyard right now. Elsewhere, though, Taylorville around 522, and Mowequa, it should be bearing down in your area around 539. So at least you got a few minutes now to take preparations and make your preparations as necessary, because we do have these thunderstorms moving quickly, again, off to the east, about 45 to 50 miles per hour. So please seek shelter immediately. So the biggest concern right now, the tornado warnings, they continue for Christian and Sangamon County until 5:30. We've got the possibility to see some large hail and strong winds on top of the tornadic thunderstorms. So it's just multiple concerns that we're dealing with. That's one area, but we're also seeing clusters of very strong thunderstorms too, coming up through Greene and Jersey County. You can see some of these thunderstorms. Luckily, I think they've weakened a little bit from what they were earlier this afternoon, but we're seeing some rough weather that's been moving out of St. Louis. And then more thunderstorms skimming just to the south of our viewing area. They've been working out of St. Louis, sliding very quickly off towards the east. So it's just been a very, very active evening. You can see these thunderstorms kind of lined up, not really affecting the I-57 corridor just yet. So don't let your guard down, though, because these thunderstorms are working from west to east. And if they hold together, as they've been doing so far for this afternoon, they could still pack quite a wallop as they approach the I-57 corridor. But right now, most of the action, again, over southern Sangamon County, Taylorville, and stretching down towards around St. Louis. But these thunderstorms are moving out, heart and soul, pushing very quickly off towards the east, and they are spreading in a swath of very destructive thunderstorms in their path. Matt?
Yeah, we're continuing to see this storm develop, and the shape of it, too, is turning more and more profound for what we see for tornado warnings as well. So if you're in the path of this storm, please make sure that you're taking shelter now, most interior room. Hate having to say it multiple times, but please take shelter now. And if you are in another part of the area that aren't under these warnings yet, great time to get prepared, get some things set aside ahead. It is a severe weather day. We do expect most, if not all, the region to see severe weather. So right now we still have tornado warnings for Sangamon and Christian counties.
Okay, let's take a look at the velocity mode, because that shows us where the circulation is taking place. Oh, it shows up pretty distinctly there. You can see as we zoom in, let me get over to the key wall here. What we're looking at are the color couplets where the green and the red meet up together, and it's right there. So just to get your bearings, here's Verdon, there's Chatham. It's right in this area here. That's where we're seeing some circulation taking place, at least according to our Doppler radar. And so that's the area, that's where the worst conditions are right now, charging off towards the east. So again, it's going to be probably bearing down here in Taylorville very shortly as these tornadic thunderstorms continue to rumble off very quickly towards the east. We'll put this back on the reflectivity mode, and we'll see another aspect of these thunderstorms, a better perspective. You can see again, very, very strong thunderstorms. They are continuing to work their way. They're moving right along, trying to see who changed on me right there. They're mainly south of the I-72 corridor at this point, but they are moving along very, very quickly, speeds close to 50 miles per hour. And some of the other communities here, again, there's Pawnee, and just north of the Thomasville vicinity. Trying to get a little bit more of a closer picture of this, but this seems to be the worst of the worst right now in this general area here. So there's Pawnee, there's Thomasville. So it's this cluster right here that's producing the tornadic thunderstorms where we're seeing some spinning motion with the thunderstorms. And look at all the lightning strikes too. So on top of everything else that we're dealing with, very, very strong wind gusts, hail, and now some prolific lightning as well. So these thunderstorms are definitely packing quite a wallop as they continue to charge off towards the east. Again, a reminder, we are currently under a tornado warning for Christian and parts of southern Sangamon County. This does not include Springfield, but it does include the southern part of Sangamon County. Our tornado warning continues until 5:30 this evening, so that's still for about the next few minutes or so. The bigger picture here shows Springfield. So right now, Springfield kind of dodged a bullet. I mean, we had some rough weather, not as bad as what it could have been, because as you can see, the worst of the worst right now is still south of Springfield. You can see some of these thunderstorms, though, just to the east of Auburn. And again, they're going to be working their way very quickly over towards Taylorville. So if you live in Taylorville, now is the time to make sure that you're seeking shelter. You don't want to be outdoors in the elements with the weather this bad. It doesn't take long because these thunderstorms, again, could be producing hail, strong winds. And of course, we've seen the spinning motion with a tornadic thunderstorm. So please, around Taylorville, make sure that you are sheltered in place. Make sure that you go to the lowest level of your home and stay away from windows and really protect yourself. When you are inside like that, make sure that you can cover yourself up maybe with a blanket or something to kind of protect yourself in case there is some flying glass or flying debris. So make sure that you are sheltered in place around Taylorville as these thunderstorms are approaching from the west. Matt?
Yeah, and they're continuing to move through a very favorable environment for more intensification. And we've seen it, the hail is starting to pick up again. It went down a little bit, but as that tornado warning has been issued, we're starting to see it pick back up, as well as the lightning strikes going back up, as well as that circulation has tightened. So it's still under that tornado warning for Christian and Sangamon counties until 5:30. Make sure you're sheltered in place, most interior, lowest level, away from windows, most walls between you and the outdoors. Great way to also, helmets are a great way to put into your shelter as well to protect you in case of flying debris, as well as glass. Make sure that you're away from windows. And if you're outside, make sure to find a most sturdy building that you can find. And if you have no way of finding shelter, best place to go is to lie low in a ditch and with your hands over your head. Now, we are still tracking this system to make its way across the region. Taking a look at the hail threat has definitely picked back up over the last couple of minutes, over the last couple of scans. We're still seeing that shear spin, as well as from the velocities where those greens and those reds are overlapping is where we're seeing a lot of that shear, which has indicated that tornado warning.
Yeah, let's take a bigger picture. We can see some of the other clusters of thunderstorms working their way and traipsing their way across central Illinois right now. For the last several hours, we've been tracking a large, massive cluster of thunderstorms working up from the St. Louis metro area, prompting some severe thunderstorm warnings. Most of these have luckily stayed just to the south of our viewing area, but we are seeing some problems, though, back over through Montgomery and Macoupin County. up through around the Fayette County as well, some severe thunderstorm warnings in this area. So just a major swath of very, very intense thunderstorms right now, certainly capable of producing some large hail. In fact, earlier we had reports of some ping pong ball size hailstones, also to wind gusts in excess of 70 miles per hour. So these thunderstorms are really, really packing quite a wallop. They continue to work off towards the east at about 45 miles per hour. But again, our main concern is the area, though, just north of there, because that's where we have a tornado warning. Up, and a new severe thunderstorm warning, though, has now just cropped up. That is for Macoupin and Montgomery County. That goes until 6:15 for tonight. So we've got some new warnings here. But our tornado warning, that's the main concern that we have currently, and that is for Christian and parts of Sangamon County, southern Sangamon County. That goes until 5:30, so that's at least the next 15 to about 19 minutes or so. So we've got those concerns as well. Let's put a tracker on these tornadic thunderstorms that we've been monitoring here around Christian and Sangamon County. Taking these thunderstorms and putting our tracker on there, they're moving off again towards the east at about 45 to 50 miles per hour. On that projected course, it's going to be bearing down on Taylorville, as we were mentioning, very shortly, about 5:20. So that's in less than 10 minutes or so from now. Along with that, it's going to be affecting Moweaqua at 5:37, then working its way over towards Long Creek, and eventually around Sullivan, shortly after the top of the hour, around 6:03. So please, if you live in any of these communities, please seek shelter immediately. These thunderstorms are booking along very quickly, moving off towards the east, close to 50 miles per hour, as we were mentioning, and you're going to be seeing all possible forms of severe weather, besides the large hail, very strong destructive winds, of course, that possibility for tornadic thunderstorms. So please seek shelter immediately, and especially in these areas like around Christian and Sangamon County, southern Sangamon County, now is the time to definitely seek shelter immediately. Go to the lowest level of your home, stay away from windows, and put as many walls between you and the outside as possible, because again, it's a very dangerous situation. Matt?
Yeah, including some other places that aren't necessarily under that tornado warning, but are still under a considerable threat. We do have areas of southern Montgomery County, as well as just on the south side of Macoupin County, where we have very large hail. We're talking hail based off some of the data that we're getting over 2 inches. So we're talking tennis ball size hail, getting close to that very dangerous baseball size hail. So that's still that main threat as we go throughout this evening, is that very, very large hail, as long with this tornado threat, with this very unstable environment with a lot of shear, which is spin in the atmosphere.
Yeah, we're seeing reports of well, that says close to 2 inches. Let's do this again and see what it says. Get a hail tracker in here. Yeah, about 1.5 inches at least. But again, it's been pulsing. Sometimes it's been a little bit less than that, but other times it's been a whole lot worse. So definitely large hailstones. That has been the signature. That has been one of the history-making aspects of these thunderstorms. They've been producing hail, isolated tornadoes. We've been seeing some extremely strong wind gusts as well. So just a whole host of problems that we're dealing with. As you can see here, we still have our tornado warning that continues for Montgomery County until 5:30. And then we have more warnings here for parts of Christian County and southern Sangamon County. That also goes, our tornado warning still continues there until 5:30, so for the next few minutes as well. So all modes of severe weather are possible here, especially around the Taylorville area. We're looking at anything from large destructive hail to very strong ferocious winds to, again, the possibility for tornadoes, as we've seen circulation, we've seen that spinning motion here. So it's a very serious situation here as thunderstorms continue to erupt. And with all the warm, muggy air that we've had today, it is certainly helping to fuel and make for a very unstable environment. So just to kind of recap here, again, much of central Illinois is still very much under the gun. You can see the shades of yellow there, where we definitely have the shades of yellow, which indicates a tornado watch that continues until 9 o'clock tonight officially. And then on top of that, the shades of orange, that indicates severe thunderstorm warnings. And right there around Taylorville, that's our tornado warning that continues until at least 5:30. So just a whole host, a whole gamut of problems that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Here's our latest radar. Matt?
We do have an update on the tornado warning. The tornado warning for Sangamon County has been canceled, but it continues for Christian County.
Yeah, and that one goes till 5:30, so at least another 15, 16 minutes or so. There we zoom in closer with this particular cell. And let's put the velocity mode here. When we look at this, we're looking at the color bands. Green indicates the winds are going towards the radar site. Red indicates the winds are going away from the radar site. Whenever we're seeing couplets with the wind, that indicates some circulation. And we're definitely seeing that right around the Taylorville area. It indicates some circulation aloft, which is a signature of tornadic thunderstorms. So it's definitely something we're going to be watching very closely as these thunderstorms continue to bear down on Christian County. Again, approaching Taylorville here very, very quickly. Matt?
Yeah, these storms are moving very quickly, and that's why we had the Sangamon County one expire. It's just moved so fast that it's out of that area, but it's still very an intense storm. It has not weakened at all. We're still seeing that very broad circulation to issue that tornado warning, as well as hail up to around 1.5 inches with this storm, as well as very heavy rainfall in addition.
Here's some other communities now. Again, besides Taylorville, also in line would be the Moweaqua vicinity. That should be impacting you, these thunderstorms, around 5:40, and it heads up around Macon, 5:44. So again, sometimes you don't get a whole lot of advance notice with these thunderstorms. So whenever a warning is issued for your area, it's very important to act promptly. If you're under tornado warning, as we are right now for Christian County, you definitely want to seek shelter immediately. Go inside, go to the lowest level of your home in a sturdy building. We always recommend going down to the basement. But if you don't have a basement, just go to the lowest level. Go to an interior room and stay away from windows and any glass panes. You just want to make sure that you are putting as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And it's always good to kind of crawl underneath a sturdy piece of furniture, kind of protect yourself from flying debris, maybe cover yourself up with a blanket or a comforter in case there is some flying debris. So again, now's the time to act. Definitely here around Christian County, you're under a tornado warning here until 5:30 this evening as these thunderstorms again working their way closer towards Taylorville. Matt?
Yep, still continuing to see this circulation as well across the Christian County area. It is the only tornado warning in our region, but we're still seeing this. It has not weakened. It's still showing that rotation. Taking a look on velocity, we're still seeing, those greens, those darker shaded greens and those reds pretty much overlapping each other, and that's where we're seeing that rotation as well with the shear just on that western part of Bear Creek. So we're continuing to see this as it makes its way across the region. And the lightning strikes have picked up as well. We've gone from around 55, 60 to 75, closing in on 80 in the last 15 minutes. So a lot of lightning with this system, still with that 1 3/4 inch hail, so still very considerable with this system, as well as that rotation that we're still seeing making its way into the Taylorville area.
Yeah, it's a very volatile situation that continues here in central Illinois because we're still seeing these cluster of thunderstorms. Many of those have been spawning some severe weather. And right now, again, the main concern is our tornado warning that continues for Christian County. This one still continues until 5:34 this evening. So you can see these thunderstorms are knocking at your back door around the Taylorville vicinity. They are the main concentrated area of tornadic thunderstorms where the spinning motion is close to South Fork and just north of the Bear Creek vicinity. And again, it is going to be working its way over towards Taylorville. So you can see those brighter shades of the purples and pinks, which indicates the most intense concentrated area of this thunderstorm complex. So it is working its way towards Taylorville, and it will continue to charge off towards the east, putting a tracker on these thunderstorms. Again, moving, typically we've seen speeds close to 50 miles per hour working off towards the east. And these thunderstorms are still holding their own. So a heads up for those of you around Moweaqua. You'll be seeing these thunderstorms bearing down in your vicinity right around 5:39 for tonight, and also to around South Macon. And so we've got some really rough weather working its way eastbound. From west to east, that's how these thunderstorms are going to be traipsing across the region as the evening continues to wear on. A bigger picture shows what we've got going on here. Again, clusters of showers and thunderstorms, you can see them steadily making headway from west to east. So even though you might live along the I-57 corridor, you might be thinking, well, hey, we're not seeing much of anything right now. Don't let your guard down, because we definitely have some rough weather headed your way. I believe we have some pictures from some hailstones from some of our viewers. Maybe we can take a picture of those. Look at that. This is some huge hail. Look at that. Definitely fits in the palm of your hand. We've been seeing some really gnarly looking hailstones, reports of at least golf ball and even ping pong ball size hail. Look at that. That's another very impressive big hailstone right there. That can definitely cause some serious damage. So we can't stress it enough. If you're under a tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning, please, you don't want to be outdoors. That can cause some really serious damage to both property and for your own safety. So definitely want to be indoors. We've had some really, really violent thunderstorms so far here across central Illinois. In the evening's far from over. We'll still be very much fair game to see more of these thunderstorms erupting. It's a very warm, very humid environment. We've had temperatures in the 70s today, unseasonably warm, and that is helping to fuel these thunderstorms. That coupled too with the fact that we had some sunshine that really made for a very unstable environment, helping to fuel these thunderstorms as well. So just a multitude of thunderstorm clusters here. Several communities right now still under severe thunderstorm warnings. And of course, we have our tornado warning, though, back through Christian County, right around the Taylorville area. And these thunderstorms are, again, working very quickly off towards the west to east. So they're moving basically due east right now at about 50 miles per hour. Matt?
Yeah, other than that tornado warning that's for the Christian County, Taylorville area, every other severe thunderstorm warning's main threat is that hail, very large hail. Do not drive through these kind of storms. That's going to put a hole right through your windshield, and you don't want hail landing in your laps. Here's some more photos of that hail all across the region. Definitely on the smaller side, but definitely still covering the ground. We're showing how much hail there is with this system. And that's talking about ping pong size hail right there, which could put a huge dent in your car, go through your windshield, especially if you're driving through this. So we do have that tornado warning still for Christian County, but other areas across the region still have that very considerable hail threat with the system.
So the tornadic thunderstorms have not quite reached Taylorville just yet, but certainly Christian County is under that tornado warning. So now is a time to definitely seek shelter. If you haven't already done so, definitely make sure that you are indoors. And definitely, too, it looks as if it's going to be like almost on top of you here very shortly. So, yeah, we've got some really rough weather now approaching Taylorville. Again, Christian County really under the gun at this point, under this tornado warning until 5:30. Hail, prolific lightning, heavy, heavy downpours, gusty winds, the whole 9 yards. We are seeing some active weather, and we just showed you some of those hailstones from earlier. These thunderstorms, again, have had a history of producing large, destructive hail. So again, you definitely want to take this seriously, definitely want to be indoors and make sure that you are properly safeguarding you and your family and your property against these nasty thunderstorms that are rolling off towards the east. Matt?
Yeah, we're continuing to see these storms make their way directly east. We have the cold front pushing through into the northern part of the region. That's going to continue to bring in and allow these storms to form a boundary that allows these storms to form and continue to develop across the region. We have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings, especially for Montgomery counties, Macoupin, as well as that tornado warning for Christian County. All these severe thunderstorm warnings aspect for Christian County, as we still have that rotation across the region.
Yeah, speaking of rotation, let's take a look at the velocity mode then. We'll see how distinct it is. Oh, still showing up very, very, very well there. We see the shades of green and the reds there very close to Taylorville. Again, that is a signature. Whenever you see that on the velocity mode of a Doppler radar, that's a signature of some circulation. That's where we're seeing that circulation here right around Taylorville, prompting our tornado warning. It continues here for Christian County until the bottom of the hour. So again, these thunderstorms are very much holding their own, holding intact as they continue to race off towards the east. So we can't stress it enough. It has been a rough evening. Definitely seeing some nasty thunderstorms, and it's not over just yet. Matt?
Yeah, one of the reports from a National Weather Service meteorologist, the severe storm with this tornado warning there have been reports of a funnel cloud passing on just the southern part of Taylorville, where we're seeing those reds and greens intensify. That's where we're seeing that circulation and that shear. So please make sure that you're in your safe spot now. If you're in Taylorville, especially if you're east of Taylorville, make sure that you're in that safe spot, away from windows, most interior, lowest level, most walls between you and the outdoors. And make sure that if you have time, grab stuff, blankets, pillows, helmets, give you a little bit more protection in that safe spot. And we're seeing this storm continue to make its way across the region, and it's not weakened at all.
Yeah, so some really, really intense weather for sure right now. Again, that's the main action, or at least as far as tornadic thunderstorms are concerned. and they have been really not really easing up any at all. So our tornado warning continues for the next few minutes here. Officially it goes till 5:30, but I wouldn't be surprised if they extend that out further past 5:30. But officially till 5:30. Again, our tornado warning continues here right around the Taylorville area. That seems to be the worst of the worst right now. But it's heading eastbound, so it should be passing over Highway 51 here very shortly as it works closer towards Mowequa. It should be, looks as if it may be skimming close to Pana. Oh, here we go, just talking about it. So again, they have now extended that tornado warning. Now it goes on into parts of Christian County, the eastern part of Christian County, on into Shelby County. This tornado warning now officially till 6 o'clock this evening. So it just gets compounded, one thing after another, as these thunderstorms again have been working their way steadily from west to east, and now more areas are being impacted by these tornadic thunderstorms. So again, the worst current conditions right now, right around Taylorville. You can see that huge, massive cluster of thunderstorms bearing down on Taylorville right now. They are getting hammered. They are getting clobbered. That's the worst of the worst. Again, these thunderstorms are charging off towards the east. So here's Highway 51. It's going to be crossing over there later on this evening as these thunderstorms work off towards the east. But this has prompted our extenuation now of this tornado warning for Christian and now parts of Shelby County getting into the act. A tornado warning until 6 o'clock for this evening. All forms of severe weather will be possible. Besides the threat for tornadoes, we're also concerned with some large hail, very strong wind gusts. We could see wind gusts well over 60, 70 miles per hour with some of these thunderstorms. Prolific lightning, just some really nasty weather, heavy torrential downpours too, at least briefly. And these thunderstorms again working off towards the east. So please, if you live in Christian County and also too now in Shelby County, please seek shelter immediately. You want to go to the lowest level of your home, go down into the basement. If you don't have a basement, just go to the lowest level, go to an interior room. You want to stay away from windows because, of course, it can be flying debris, and that could be very dangerous. So go to an interior room, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible, and make sure that you get underneath a sturdy piece of furniture, something to help protect yourself. Oftentimes, it's good to maybe take a blanket or a comforter or something to cover yourself up in case there is some flying debris. But now's the time to act. Now's the time to seek shelter immediately here for Christian and Shelby County as these thunderstorms are working from Taylorville, again, swiftly pulling off towards the east at about 50 miles per hour. Matt?
Yeah, we're continuing to see this. It's slowly making its trend more to the east-southeast. So we see that polygon has shifted just a little bit more towards the southeast. We're still seeing this, and please make sure that you're taking shelter. Do not wait. Don't go and take pictures. That could be after the fact. Let's take shelter now. We still have that active tornado warning for Christian and Shelby County, so we want to make sure that you're in your safe spot as we go into the next hour or so. And this storm system has continued to make its way across the region. Still seeing that hail threat as well with up to 1.5 inches hail. We had earlier with this storm up to 2.5-inch hail, so that's just shy of baseball size hail. So this storm has been making its way across the region, still with that tornado threat in the area.
Yeah, let's take I'm trying to do a query here to see if it's going to tell me more information about our latest tornado warning here. Let's see what it says. Okay, let me get my glasses here so I can actually read this. The print is so small. Okay, so we have the tornado warning Doppler radar indicating tornado located very close to Taylorville, moving towards the east, again, 45 to 50 miles per hour. It's also capable of producing half-dollar size hail, watching out for flying debris, a very dangerous situation. And the storm should be very close to Assumption around 5:35 for tonight. So we've got the possibility for tornadoes, large hail, gusty winds, the whole 9 yards. Multiple counties right now under warnings, including our tornado warning right now for Christian and for Shelby County going until 5:30. And the one for Christian and Shelby County, they're going and officially now has been extended to 6 o'clock for this evening. So looking at some really rough weather here bearing down on central Illinois. Multitude of issues going on, including the possibility for tornadoes. And of course, our entire team here, the entire storm team is working for tonight. Of course, we have Matt Bednar with us, me, Cheryl Lemke, and of course, we're going to have Darren Leeds too from our sister station. We're all closely monitoring the situation. And with that being said, we're going to toss it back to our normal programming as we'll let Darren take over for a while as we're covering the severe thunderstorms and the threat for more tornadoes.